Oh, man, I hate Mondays.
Nah, man, it's Tuesday.
Wait. What day is it?
You know what day it is. Tuesday. Brewsday Tuesday.
Oh, fuck yeah! It's Brewsday Tuesday time with DreZ and Huck.
Ooh, it did have more of a little oomph to it, didn't it?
Yeah, he opens it with a knife.
It is Brewsday Tuesday, and I am DreZ alongside my partner in crime. Huck from Huck's Beer Buzz is with us.
Yo.
And you brought a friend.
I did. I went to West Virginia and I brought back some cider, and it came with a person.
This guy, Josh, came along with it.
So Josh comes with the cider anytime you order it.
Yeah, we got Josh Bennett in the house, who is actually the co-owner and founder of a spot in West Virginia, Hawk Knob. Now, I think they mainly focus on ciders. Is that correct, Josh?
That's correct. We do traditional Appalachian hard cider. We also make some honey wines, otherwise known as mead.
A mead. You're making the mead. Now, I'm glad to hear that, because I'm very curious about the mead process. But first things first, let's talk about what you brought with you.
Yeah, man.
This first round, you popped in a very fun way. What bottle over there?
I popped a bottle of Appalachian Classic. So what this is, man, everything we do is pretty traditional. We use about 14 heirloom varieties of apples that we fresh press on site. Old school apples, old varieties that used to be used for cider making back in the 1800s. We fresh press these on site. This style here is the only one that I don't barrel age. So this one's pretty light, really bright. We still believe in aging the cider properly, though. So this is aged on its lees, and I know you guys are beer drinkers, but in our realm, lees aging is basically you age it on the yeast for a couple months, and it adds a whole nother flavor profile to it.
We don't restrict ourselves to any particular alcoholic beverage.
No, and I am looking forward to trying that one. But you handed me, like you said, I guess you tend to age stuff in barrels. It's the Barrel Heritage Dry Hard Cider, 10 months bourbon barrel aged, huh?
Yeah. What's cool, when you taste these two side by side, this will really show you what a barrel does to the cider. So the one you're drinking there, that is actually the same cider, but it's aged in a bourbon barrel for about 10 months, picks up a lot of barrel characteristic. We took a gold medal with that internationally last year.
Nice. So here's so that right there you have like the classic. That's sort of just OG straight up cider. And I kind of do want to do a little side by side, because and one thing I did notice with your cider, it is unlike most of the ciders that you'll find, I guess, at the typical grocery store and stuff. This is not that super sweet sort of cider, you know.
No, I'm not trying to make apple Kool-Aid here.
Now, this stuff is like really clean. You know, I'm not a fan of a lot of the more commercial ciders. You know, that being said, occasionally there's a place for everything. But this cider struck me as so good, which is why I invited him over.
Right on, fellas.
That classic is really just nice, clean,
appley
dry. Like I said, not too sweet, and super, super just refreshing. Like what was the ABV on that one?
It's still 8%.
8%?
A Huck session cider.
Dude, and it's like almost like it's so light, like it's like
no
drinking water.
Yeah, no heat.
That one will get you, because it's so refreshing and nice, cool, and refreshing on a hot summer day. You start putting them down, and you'll know you did, though.
I bet. So where exactly is Hawk Knob?
Well, Hawk Knob, our facility's in Lewisburg, West Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah, and then my farm's up in Pocahontas County, West Virginia. And our business, Hawk Knob, is named after the mountain behind my farm.
Makes sense.
Cool. Yeah.
So it was a nice little, just like, what, 3-hour drive down 219 to get here?
Yeah, about 3.5 hours.
So nice
Beautiful
little trip.
day.
And you were down there for what again, Huck?
Oh, just some of the beer writers got together and had a little tour of Lewisburg. And we started at the cidery. Then we went to the Greenbrier Brewery. Mm-hmm. Then we went to the distillery.
I know the classic,
which we drank in the bourbon sessions.
And I know the Greenbrier Classic is coming up. So if people are making a trip down to West Virginia, you definitely need to throw the old Hawk Knob on the to-do list.
Well, we got a nice little trifecta working there between ourselves, the brewery, and then Smooth Ambler out there, which is pretty fitting. You guys went out there. We pretty much work with them exclusively on the barrels that we use for the barrel aging process.
Cool. Yeah. So that's one of the things that I think is great about the whole the barrel aging, it's a team effort, you know. You find some good people that make some good product, and then you make it. You share your
and everybody gets along, you know. Like he called over the brewery, so they welcomed us when we got there, and then they called over the distillery, so they welcomed us when we got there.
Right,
and they're all close together. I mean, you know, 5 or 10 miles apart.
So
all three.
Josh, when did you? I know it says you said co-founder. So who was your other co-founder? When did you all go under this endeavor?
Yeah, well, I met a good buddy of mine back in college. We went to school at WVU, Will Lewis, and we started brewing beer. Well, not beer. We started brewing mead together back in college, and and then I had been making cider literally since I was 12. And
really,
yeah. So I kind of grew up in a region of on the border of Virginia and West Virginia, where cider making was still traditional.
Mm-hmm.
So
because you grew up on a farm, I'm assuming. That was just
I
the
grew up on a
lifestyle.
farm, and you know, in the fall you made cider. And when I was 12, where I grew up, if you were old enough to chop wood and make hay, you were old enough to make and drink hard cider. So. That's just kind of
those laws kind of got away from us, didn't they? Anyway.
Well, I think we're far enough out. You know, it might still be that way a little bit back in there.
Fair enough.
But when Will and I met, we just shared a passion for brewing good booze and for, you know, kind of going back to an agrarian lifestyle. And we wanted to go back into farming. I'd came from farming, and I didn't really have a big farming operation to go back to, so I knew I needed a value-added product. I mean, you can have a lot of fun and make a little way, I guess, selling greens at the farmer's market, but otherwise you need something to get out there. And I mean, cider was just booming at the time. It was coming back onto the American market. This would have been back in 2006.
Okay.
And just about everything that I had out there was just some sort of sugared up apple Kool-Aid, and nothing that I would have called cider compared to what I grew up drinking.
All right.
And so I thought that there was a real void in the market and a place for something that was really traditional. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of where we came at it from.
So you started at it right around 06, is that right?
Well, we started making a lot of booze together back then. We didn't get this launched off the ground until 2014.
Okay.
So we're about 4.5 years old now.
Still fairly new to the game, but you've been doing it for long enough that you know what you're up to.
You never know. I mean, you ended up on TV.
Yeah. It surprises me
that?
where I end up. Oh, we were on an episode of Anthony Bourdain's Parts Unknown.
He popped over there?
Yeah, we were featured in a little episode there. It was.
Yeah, if you go there, he'll show it to you on the laptop. It's interesting. I mean, you know, little fame and fortune.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's
10
cool.
seconds of fame, man.
Well, I want to hear some more about how it all started and everything, and I also want to delve into the process, particularly the whole mead thing. But for now, I think we should untap these bad boys. What are you thinking, Huck?
Oh, you know how I am.
I do know how you are, and I know what you are on Untapped as well. It's Huck's Beer Buzz.
Correct.
DreZ Drinks is my handle. Do you do the Untapped thing, or are you just strictly like...
I'm not really in there. I think we've got an account just so we can follow what's going on, but I don't deal with it a lot.
Okay, so don't be Josh's friend, but you can be our friends.
That's right.
DreZ Drinks is my handle. Huck's Beer Buzz is his.
A lot of brewers don't get on there because some people say ugly things.
I could definitely see the reason why not, but I would almost think it's sort of that necessary evil kind of a deal.
Yeah.
Pardon me. You feel like you kind of got to.
I think people understand when somebody says something stupid. We're all going, that's stupid. But anyway, I'm going to do my usual. When I have a guest that brings a good product, I'm going to give you a 5, Josh.
An easy 5. But here's the thing,
5.
man. You got to realize that when you're throwing out 5, there's really nowhere to go up from there. And the thing is, I got a funny feeling that when you try this barrel aged, that'll be a step up in your book.
Well, then I could say it's a 5, and it's really, really a 5.
A harder 5.
A hard 5. It's a barrel aged 5.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. I did take a sip of the classic, and I do like it, man. It's fresh, it's clean, very, very nicely done cider. But let's be honest, man. We're bourbon drinkers.
Yeah.
You throw that little bit, and this is not over the head of bourbon flavor. Like, it just has that touch, just enough of a touch to give it a little bit something different. And, of course, a little bit bigger of a kick because I think, is this one 10%?
That's 10%. That one varies. I mean, all of these are craft seasonal beverages. I get to, unlike breweries where you can do batch after batch, there's kind of a recipe you follow every time. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm kind of at the will of the climate and how much sun and light and water I get with the season.
True.
And I get to make this once a year when apples are ripe. So, you know, that classic, it varies between 7 and 8% depending on the vintage and the one you're drinking there. And the rest of what we're going to have today varies between 10 and 11% depending on the vintage.
Huck Sessions. I
There
love
you go.
it. All right, cool. Yeah, and this is an easy, obvious 5, man. You got to try this stuff out. Hawk Knob, we'll talk a little bit more about maybe where you can get your hands on it, and we'll drink some more after this little Are you a rock guy, Josh? You got a particular song you want me to throw on?
Oh, I listen to a little bit of everything, man.
All right.
Throw one on me.
What's your favorite, like, you know,
Rock and roll song.
rock and roll, baby.
I mean, I grew up on AC/DC. So.
There you go.
There it is, man. We can throw some AC/DC on for you. All right, we'll play this AC/DC track for Josh, and we'll come back and we'll pop some more tops. Brewsday Tuesday continues after this. Stick around.